You don't like BBC?
BBC كله.
Why?
سيء. لا يعني BBC سيء.
Because you are talking very bad about Syria. You are not telling the truth
But
about
you know
Syria.
what? This is the first time I've been able to come to Syria.
No, why
My
before you
first
didn't
visa.
come? Why before you didn't come?
I didn't have a visa.
No, why you didn't get the visa?
We've been waiting for a visa to come
No,
to tell
no,
your
it's not
story.
correct. Everybody can come to Syria and get visa.
It's not true. Fadi is here. We can ask Fadi.
No, it's not correct.
Well, there's no journalists who come to Syria.
No.
Well, tell me what your story is then. What do you think? What is? Tell me what
Okay,
the.
finish.
No, but tell me what do you think is? What is the lie that's being told? What do you think is not
You
being
lie
told?
because you are talking truth, not truth about Syria.
So
Syria
what is
is
the
very
truth?
quiet.
What is?
The truth is that nothing we have in Syria. Syria is very quiet. And everybody in population in Syria loves our president and we support the president. But you are talking very lie about Syria.
Well, I didn't lie. It's my first day here.
No, you are lying because everybody here, population 23 million person from Syria love Bashar Al Assad and support Bashar Al Assad.
But I'm not making it up. There are pictures of
No,
protests.
you are
But there are pictures.
your advertisement like that.
But if we see, yes,
No,
there are people like you who
you are
support.
liking, you are telling like that. Everybody when BBC Arabic, he can hear the lie about Syria. Al Jazeera and Arabiya.
But what is it? But maybe Syria is like any country. Some people support and some people
No,
don't
everybody
support.
has support.
So Syria is different.
There is very little people. Maybe 10,000 like that. But the most of people, 22 million, 23 million persons support Bashar Al Assad.
But even the
and we have not demonstration, we have armed gangs.
But even the president said there needs to be some change.
Yes.
He did say that.
Change.
Yes. He said there are some legitimate grievances.
He is always doing to make that change.
Yes.
He's trying always to make this change. So is it we support him? But you are telling the lie about the Syria. Now finish.
Mr. Bashar Assad for very good and very
But you have to know,
very good, and I like
Just I want to tell you something. Now you are representing the BBC, yes? You have to know you are working in BBC and all people that they are working in Al Jazeera, Al Arabiya, that everybody in Syria, population of Syria, they know, pretty sure that you are lying. This is the most important.
Lizzie, since you have been in Syria for a while and you've been on the ground covering the unrest there, tell us what you know about the identity of those who are still killing people in Homs. Of course, the government is calling them members of foreign-backed armed gangs. The opposition says they're security forces.
Well, I mean, I think it's quite clear what is happening in Syria to anybody who just turns off Al Jazeera for 5 minutes, really. And I mean, the events being portrayed by the global media, which is controlled by the Western nations and the GCC nations overwhelmingly, is in fact the exact opposite of the reality of what is happening on the ground. And this is because the Western powers, whose policies only benefit a tiny minority of the global population, are trying to portray through their global media that their interests are the same as the global population, when in fact the opposite is of course true. So we have a situation whereby Western-backed illegal insurrection in Syria is being portrayed as a revolution being carried out by freedom fighters. Meanwhile, as your report correctly said, genuinely popular uprisings in Bahrain and Yemen are being suppressed by those very same Western forces and Saudi Arabia and Qatar and others. And this is because in the former case, in the case of Syria, as in the case of Libya, the insurrections were supported by the West because they were insurrections against anti-Zionist and anti-imperialist states. Whereas in Bahrain and Yemen, the popular protests are protests against allies of the West and allies of the Zionist state of Israel. Now, anybody who tells the truth about these situations, or even glimpses of the truth, like, for example, channels like Press TV or Russia Today or other independent reporters, are vilified. But the truth eventually does come out, exactly like in Iraq. Of course, for months, for a very long time, the narrative that weapons of mass destruction was the just pretext for intervening there. Later, of course, once the damage had been done, especially in cases like the reporting of the New York Times, and if anybody wants to know why particularly I pull up the case of the New York Times.
Well,